Hi, this is Justin Gavigan, your host of Last Minute Podcast. So, this is where we deliver you last minute podcasts at the highest quality possible. For today's episode, we're talking about crazy work stories. So, I myself work at a small town grocery store in small town Iowa, and these are the work stories. So, before we start, I'd like to give a shout out to Celsius because if it weren't for this drink, I probably wouldn't be filming this. So, cheers. So, starting out today's podcast, I'd like to start out with more tame stories. So, let me think back to a time I was at work and this nice old lady had come in and she was getting her groceries, got her stuff, got her cigarettes, got her scratch off tickets. And we had put out this new line of lottery tickets. So, it was these Pac Man themed scratch tickets. And the lady had decided to get one. So, I grabbed it for her, checked her out and everything, and then she asked me, well, how do you scratch this ticket? Which, you know what, fair enough, scratch tickets sometimes are a little hard to understand, so I take a quick look at it and I explained it to her how the ticket works, and, she was very nice, she thanked me for it, and then in the end, she hands me a $5 bill and says, you know what, you've been super nice, go get yourself one of those scratch tickets. And so I did. And I ended up winning. I mean, granted, it was only $10, but still, it's a couple candy bars and a pop. So, good day, good day. And then there was this other time where I was at work and I think my mom had come in, grab her groceries, say hi to me, annoy the shit out of me, whatever. I love her, but, that's how moms are. And she had gotten me a lottery ticket. I don't remember what the occasion was, but I was scratching it at the desk or whatever, where the register is. And this guy walks in and, I know this guy. He's nice. We like to give each other crap and whatnot. It's how we stay up and running, honestly. And he looks at me and he goes, hey, are you old enough to scratch this? And without a second thought, I look back at him and go, well, aren't you old enough to mind your own business? And he didn't know what to do. He started laughing. And then the next day he comes in and he goes, you know what, kid, that was a really funny response. I'm going to go ahead and buy you a lottery ticket. And so I scratch it and I win again. So, that was a really good week for me. Let's see. Another good story. Oh, there was this time we had this couple. I believe they were I think they were islanders that had come in and their English wasn't amazing. That's kind of relevant to the story, but they'd come in, it was 8:30, and they had grabbed a shopping cart, which, if you know anything about working retail, when you have a customer that comes in to the last half hour of your shift, because our store closes at 9, so if you have a customer coming in at 8:30 and grabbing a cart, you're just fucked. So they come in, and they ask me, hey, do you have anybody in the meat department? It is 30 minutes to closing. Why in the hell would we have anyone in the meat department at this time of night? So I'm like, no, sorry, we don't have anyone at the meat right now. We close in 30 minutes. And they get pissed at me. They were lashing out at me, and I'm like, what are you lashing out at me for? I'm just the cashier here who's telling you how this store works. It's not my fault you have shitty-ass timing. Like, pick a different time to come in. So, they go around, do their stuff, grab their meat and whatever. And then the wife, she grabbed this Big Sips mocha drink, which, if you don't know what that is, that's an alcoholic beverage. They kind of come in cans like this, except I'd say it's probably about 1/3 of the size, and it has a high booze content. So if you drink and you taste one of those, you can definitely taste the kick in it. So she grabs that, and I'm ringing her out. So I'm ringing them out. I ring the big sips and I put it on the little side panel thing, which that was a mistake on my part. Cause this lady, she grabs the big sips, opens it in the store, and takes a big sip of it. Like she literally took a big sips out of a big sips. And she, after taking the sip, just has this horrified look. She's like, "What is this? And why does it taste so foul?" And I look at her and I go, "Ma'am, that's a Big Sips, which is a alcoholic beverage. It has booze in it. It says right here it has 6.5 alcohol level." And she looks at me, hands me the Big Sips, and goes, "I don't want it. Give me a refund on it." Well, I can't return this item for you. You opened it, took a drink out of it. That's basically a HIPAA violation if I do that. I'm not even 21. I can't handle open containers. I don't even know what to do at this point. So I call up the person in the back who's washing dishes. They're over 21, so they're able to do more stuff than me. And I'm just like, "You need to take care of this because I don't have the skill set to handle this stuff that they're trying to do today." So that was probably one of my worst customer experiences of all time. And now I'm trying to think of another good story to tell you guys. I'll tell you a good one. We had this guy. He only worked at Randall's for a month, but he moved from Tennessee to small town Iowa, and he's working at this grocery store. And I suffer from congenital anosmia, which, if you don't know, is a defect where when you're born you have the inability to smell. But I heard from coworkers that in the middle of his shift, he would buy a pack of backwoods, which, if you don't know what those are little cheap gas station cigarillos, or I guess those are more cigars. But he would buy a pack of these, go into the back, unwrap the backwoods, dump the tobacco in the garbage can, and fill them up with, we'll say, wacky tobacco, if you catch my drift. So he would fill these up, roll them back up, go outside, and spark up in Iowa, where this is not legal for recreational use. And he would just do that. Now, granted, he cleaned the back like a motherfucker, so I don't know if it was that or the OCD he had, but when he cleaned, it was amazing. So honestly, I think they just let him get away with it for the fact that he cleaned so well. But he would just do this in the middle of his shift. What are you supposed to do? And there's this other time where I heard from a coworker that we had an employee who was talking to the boss at the time. And these two were kind of tight, I think, and they both also were in the wacky tobacco industry, I guess. Not really. They both liked it. I heard from a coworker that this employee sold the boss a joint in the middle of their shift. In the middle of their shift. There's cameras outside that record the cars and everything. What do you do? It's all on film. Now, granted, this guy no longer works there, and they work at this low-down, rundown store in Chicago where there's basically thefts every day. But what's a guy supposed to do when that happens? It's crazy. So, I think that wraps up for part 1 of this podcast. I think we'll return with a part 2 in a couple days or so. And thanks for watching. This is High Quality Podcast at the last possible minute with your host, Justin Gavigan.